A woman woke up and found something strange. There was a stranger lying right next to her. It scared her so much she didn't even dare to breathe loudly. She quickly and carefully got ready to escape. But when she went to the bathroom to get dressed, she noticed the walls were covered with photos of her and that strange man, and they all looked very close. There were even pictures of them wearing wedding clothes. Then she looked at her hand and saw a wedding ring. Could that man actually be her husband? But when Daisy tried to figure it out, the man sat down by the bed. So she quickly went up to ask him, but the man looked completely calm. He didn't answer who Daisy was. Instead, he politely handed her some clothes, then explained that he was her husband, and that she had lost her memory. All of this was because of a car accident 5 years ago. The head injury made her memory last only one day. For the past 5 years he had been taking care of her, and to help Daisy keep her important memories, her husband would write them down on a blackboard. That way it would make life a little easier. Daisy looked at everything in disbelief. The man in front of her was gentle and elegant, but deep down she felt very uneasy. After her husband went to work, Daisy still couldn't believe any of it. After all, everything around her felt so unfamiliar, as if it had never appeared in her memory. While she was looking around for clues, a phone call suddenly came from the living room. When Daisy picked up the phone, she found out it was a doctor calling. The doctor told her there were many secrets she didn't know, and told her to check the closet right now. Daisy was confused and lost. She didn't know who to trust, so she did as the doctor said. But when she opened the closet, she found an old camera hidden inside. In the video she said she had lost her memory, and she looked very panicked. That made Daisy feel really strange. In the video she was clearly at home, but she looked like she was afraid of being found by someone. Was she afraid of her husband? She then arranged to meet the doctor in person, and the doctor told her the truth he knew. It turned out Daisy really did lose her memory years ago, but at that time she hid it from her husband, and secretly went to the doctor for treatment. However, her condition never improved, so she used the camera to record her life every day. And when the doctor tried to awaken her memory, he made a shocking discovery. 5 years ago, Daisy's brain injury wasn't caused by a car crash. It was because someone attacked her in a hotel. That left Daisy completely stunned. Didn't her husband say it was a car accident? Was he hiding something from her? And who was the person that attacked her? So Daisy decided to find out the truth. That night she recorded everything, but the next day she forgot again as usual. Her husband reintroduced himself as always, and she repeated the same talk with the doctor. But thanks to their persistence, they found the hotel staff where Daisy once stayed. The staff had a great memory. He recognized Daisy right away. He only knew there had been an argument in the room. Then Daisy was taken away in an ambulance. He didn't know anything else. Day after day they kept investigating, and Daisy became more sure that her husband was hiding something. But when she was with him she pretended to act normal, until one day the doctor gave her a photo. She learned she actually had a best friend, but something felt really strange. In all 5 years, that friend never appeared in any of the doctor's recordings. That night during dinner with her husband, Daisy asked where her friend was, but her husband looked very uncomfortable. After some questioning he finally explained. He took out an old photo. Back then, after Daisy lost her job, she became cold to everyone. Her friend felt disappointed, and thought their friendship didn't matter anymore, so they stopped contacting each other. Her husband claimed he hid that truth, so Daisy wouldn't feel sad, but Daisy still doubted his story.
He says he's protecting you, but you don't trust him. Don't trust Ben.
You could see photos of her friend still on the wall, and when she turned on the camera the next morning, the video from last night really showed photos with her friend. But now behind her there was nothing, only pictures of her and her husband. It was obvious the husband had erased her friend's existence. That day she hadn't finished watching all the videos, nor had she met the doctor to learn the truth. So to figure out who her husband really was, she started searching the house, and this time she made an unexpected discovery. When she found another photo with her friend, a long-buried memory came flooding back. She remembered she had been pregnant, and her friend often came to comfort her. She rushed to the photo wall at home, but after carefully checking, there was no trace of a child anywhere. Had her baby disappeared? When Daisy looked down at her stomach, she could tell she had given birth before. That meant her husband was definitely hiding more secrets. The pain of losing her child overwhelmed her. She immediately called her husband home, and demanded to know where her child was. But her husband seemed to have a secret he couldn't say. He just hugged Daisy and told her not to cry. When they went back inside, her husband finally revealed what he called the truth. He opened an old dusty box. Inside were things proving Daisy did have a child, but the child was weak and sickly, and died before growing up. To prove he was telling the truth, he even showed hospital reports. Daisy was devastated. She fell into deep sorrow that day, and didn't meet with the doctor. That night she recorded the story about her child's death, and from then on, every morning when she woke up, after learning her child had died, she lived every day in pain. Even during later talks with the doctor, she started to believe the doctor was lying. She thought he was trying to control her, so she was torn between trusting the doctor or her her husband, never knowing who to believe, until one day the doctor called her again. They agreed to meet at a restaurant, but when Daisy arrived she was shocked. The doctor had found her friend's contact, and from her friend she learned Daisy and her husband had actually divorced 5 years ago. Then why were they still living together? That made Daisy feel scared. What was her husband really hiding? So she arranged to meet her friend. That afternoon they met at a park. Even after years apart their bond was still there. But after some small talk, Daisy still felt confused. Her friend finally told her the truth. After Daisy lost her memory, her friend often came to take care of her. But over time, she and the husband developed feelings for each other. That caused arguments between the three. The husband felt guilty and divorced Daisy, and the friend never dared to face Daisy again. The three went their separate ways, but both women found it strange. Why were Daisy and her husband living together again? Neither of them knew what had happened later, so Daisy went back home. But that night things took a turn. Her friend called after investigating.
He says he's been living alone, Chris.
What?
Ben says he hasn't seen you for 4 years.
That made no sense. Wasn't the child dead? And didn't her husband stay with her every day? Then her friend asked if her husband had black hair. But strangely, the man at home had brown hair. That made Daisy even more terrified. Just then, her husband came home. Daisy hurried to the photo wall, and was shocked to find their wedding photos were actually photoshopped. Daisy was completely stunned. She realized that so-called husband had been lying to her for 5 years. She quietly went to the living room. When she didn't see him around, she decided to leave the villa as soon as possible. But then, the fake husband attacked Daisy from behind. When Daisy woke up the next morning, everything seemed the same as before. She thought she was married again, and the man told her the same story. But this time she got a call from the fake husband himself. He had planned everything the night before. He changed her phone number, so the doctor couldn't reach her. And to stop the doctor from contacting Daisy, he even went to the hospital, and warned him to stay away from her. That night he took Daisy to a hotel that looked very familiar. It was the same place where Daisy had been attacked years ago. When they entered he looked like he knew the place well. He casually took off his jacket, and Daisy started to sense something. He sat on the bed, and her memories suddenly came rushing back. Looking at the familiar scene, she blurted out the fake husband's real name. Then she demanded to know where her real husband was, but the man said her husband had abandoned her, and that he was the one who had stayed by her side. It all went back to 5 years ago. The man had actually been Daisy's lover. They had an affair behind her husband's back. When Daisy tried to end it, they had a fight, and the man hit her. That's how she got her head injury. While Daisy was recovering, her real husband really did fall for her friend. After the divorce Daisy went to a care home, but the fake husband refused to let go, so he pretended to be her real husband and took her away. That's how he fooled her for 5 years. He brought her to the hotel, still obsessed with their past, trying to rekindle a fake love story.
It's forgotten.
At that moment Daisy remembered her son. She demanded to know where he was. After learning the truth Daisy didn't back down. She kept questioning the fake husband, but all she got was a violent beating. That was his real face. Desperate Daisy grabbed a vase nearby, and smashed it at him. They struggled fiercely in the room, but Daisy was no match for him. He knocked her to the ground. Daisy tried to crawl toward the door, but he grabbed her again. Just before he pulled her back, she saw a hot iron beside her. Daisy crawled a few inches forward, and grabbed it. Daisy finally escaped his grasp. Without hesitation she ran out of the room. Then she triggered the fire alarm in the hallway. Soon the police and firefighters arrived. The fake husband got the punishment he deserved, and Daisy was finally rescued. This time her recording was real. The next day the doctor came to visit her. By then Daisy had regained her memory, and the doctor brought someone important. It was her real husband who once betrayed her. Looking at the man she both knew and didn't, her emotions were all mixed. But when their son walked in, Daisy finally found hope again. Maybe this couple would never cross the line again.